All right, so are you ready for this one? Today, we are diving deep into Indian fintech.
Oh, yeah.
With a guy named Ashneer Grover.
I've heard of this guy.
Okay, so this guy's story is...
Yeah, tell me more.
Wild.
Okay.
We're talking middle-class upbringing in Delhi, straight to the top of the Indian startup scene.
Wow.
Our mission,
Okay,
to figure out how he did it, especially his time at BharatPe, and what we can all learn from his journey.
love it.
And we've got some great material to work with here.
Give you the goods.
So just picture this young Ashneer growing up in a family where education is like everything.
Okay, so the pressure's on.
Yeah, big time. And it's not like he's just getting by.
Right.
This guy's crushing it.
Okay.
IIT Delhi for engineering, then on to IIM Ahmedabad for his MBA.
Oh, wow. Those are some of the top schools in India.
Yeah, like the Ivy League of India.
Yeah, no joke. You don't get in there without some serious smarts and discipline. Those schools, they breed this analytical thinking.
Which you need when you're dealing with high finance, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's like they were prepping him for Wall Street, but in India.
Exactly. And that's where he cut his teeth.
Okay, so he paid his dues.
He really did. Kotak Investment Banking, then up to American Express. This isn't some kid who stumbles into a good idea.
Right, he built a foundation.
He's got the chops.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting, right? We hear all these stories about college dropouts making it big.
Yeah, the Zuckerberg.
Right. But this is different. Grover had that business background. He knew how the game was played before he even stepped on the field.
And that's huge when you're talking about a market as competitive as India's fintech scene, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're going up against giants like Paytm and Google Pay.
Talk about a David and Goliath situation.
It's like trying to open a lemonade stand next to a Coca-Cola factory. You got to be doing something special to even get noticed.
And that's what I find so fascinating about this guy. He didn't just survive, he thrived.
Okay, so what was his secret weapon?
Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was a combination of factors.
Okay, lay it on me.
But it all starts with a deep understanding of the market, right? He knew what the pain points were, especially for those small business owners.
Right, they're the backbone of the economy.
Exactly. And they were being overlooked by these big players.
So he saw a gap in the market.
He did, and he was bold enough to go for it, even with the odds stacked against him.
And that's where the funding comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because you need the capital to make those dreams a reality.
Especially in a market as competitive as this. And that's actually one of the biggest challenges highlighted in our source material. Securing funding when you're a new player in a crowded space.
It's the make or break for most startups.
Absolutely. And it's not just about having a good idea.
You've got to sell it.
You got to make people believe in your vision.
Okay, so how did he convince these investors to get on board?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, and we're going to dive into that right after this.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. So you know how most startup founders, they're terrified of failing.
Oh, yeah, it's like the kiss of death.
Right, but Grover, he's got a different take.
Oh.
He's like, failure, bring it on.
Wait, really? He's not afraid of it.
Not at all. He actually sees it as a necessary part of the process.
Okay, so explain this to me, because it sounds a little counterintuitive.
So for Grover, failure isn't the end. It's like a learning opportunity. Every time he hits a roadblock, he figures out why, learns from it, and comes back stronger.
So it's like that saying, fail fast and fail often.
Exactly. He's all about iterating, adapting, constantly evolving his approach based on what he's learning.
So instead of getting bogged down by mistakes, he's using them as fuel.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about his own mistakes. He's also incredibly observant of what others are doing, both his competitors and people in completely different fields.
So he's always on the lookout for inspiration, even in the most unexpected places.
Absolutely. He talks about how some of his best ideas for BharatPe came from watching small business owners, seeing how they were struggling, and then figuring out ways to help.
Which ties right back into his whole mission of creating a more inclusive financial system.
Exactly. He's not just building a business, he's trying to solve a real problem.
And that's what sets him apart from a lot of entrepreneurs, right? He's got that deep understanding of the market, that empathy for the underdog.
Absolutely. And that's something he honed during his time at Kotak and American Express.
So those years weren't just about climbing the corporate ladder. They were about laying the groundwork for BharatPe.
Exactly. He was learning the ins and outs of finance, building relationships, developing that strategic mindset.
It's like he was unknowingly preparing for this all along.
Precisely. And it's a great reminder that you never know when the skills you're learning today will come in handy down the road.
It's like that saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Right?
Exactly. But in Grover's case, it wasn't just about luck. It was about preparation, meeting opportunity. But it wasn't all smooth sailing, you know.
Oh, I bet. Building a startup is tough, especially in a market as competitive as India.
Exactly. And he faced his share of challenges. One in particular really stands out.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me the details.
So BharatPe was gaining traction, right? They were making a name for themselves.
Okay.
So Grover decides to launch this new lending product aimed at small businesses.
Makes sense, right? Fits with their whole mission.
Exactly. But there were a few hiccups along the way.
Like what?
Well, they kind of underestimated some of the regulatory hurdles, and they ran into some technical glitches.
Oh, that's never good.
No, it was a bit of a mess, to be honest.
So what did he do? Throw in the towel?
Not a chance. Grover doesn't give up that easily.
Hmm.
He took a step back, analyzed what went wrong, and used that experience to refine their approach.
Another learning opportunity.
Exactly. He's always turning setbacks into opportunities for growth. And that's what I find so inspiring about him.
Oh, yeah.
He's not afraid of making mistakes, but he's also not afraid to learn from them and come back stronger.
So resilience is the name of the game.
Absolutely. He's got this unwavering belief in himself and his vision, and that's what allows him to navigate those inevitable bumps in the road. But it's not just resilience, you know.
What else?
The guy's got guts.
Okay, elaborate.
Think about it. He's going up against these established giants, these behemoths of the industry, and he's not afraid to challenge them head on.
He's not intimidated.
Not in the slightest. He's got that David versus Goliath mentality, but he's also incredibly strategic about it. He's not just swinging blindly. He's using his knowledge, his experience, and his network to outmaneuver the competition.
And that's where his team comes in, right? Because you can have the best idea in the world, but without a solid team to execute it, you're dead in the water.
100%. And Grover gets that. He's assembled this incredible team, people who are just as passionate and talented as he is, and he empowers them to do their best work.
So it's that combination of vision, strategy, resilience, and teamwork.
Don't forget audacity.
Right. You got to be a little bit daring to shake things up.
Exactly. And Grover, he's got that in spades. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, what's that?
His ability to connect with people, to build relationships that go beyond just business transactions.
Okay, now that's interesting. Tell me more about that. So tell me more about these connections, these relationships.
Okay, so we've talked about his strategic mind, right? But Grover also gets that business is about people.
It's about building trust.
Exactly. It's about fostering loyalty, creating a sense of shared purpose. And he does this on multiple levels.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, look at his relationship with his team. He's known for fostering open communication. Everyone feels like they can contribute, no matter how junior they are.
So it's about creating that space where everyone feels valued.
Absolutely. Their voices are heard, their ideas are respected, and it's not just limited to his internal team.
Oh, so he's building these relationships outside of BharatPe as well.
Oh yeah, big time. Investors, partners, even competitors.
Competitors? Now that's interesting. Why would he do that?
Well, he sees the bigger picture, right? He gets that in a field like fintech, collaboration can be just as important as competition.
So it's about finding those win-win scenarios.
Exactly. You can leverage each other's strengths, push the entire industry forward.
So he's not just playing checkers, he's playing chess.
100%. He's thinking several moves ahead, anticipating the ripple effects of his actions. And that brings us to another crucial aspect of his success, his ability to adapt.
We talked about his resilience in the face of setbacks, but this sounds a little different.
It is. This is about being proactive, anticipating change, and riding that wave. The tech world moves fast.
No kidding. You snooze, you lose.
Exactly. And Grover, he's always one step ahead. He's constantly reading, observing industry trends, experimenting with new ideas.
He's not afraid to try new things.
Not at all. Even if they seem a little out there, he's hardwired for growth.
Always looking to evolve, both personally and professionally.
Precisely. And I think that's a powerful takeaway from his story.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Ashneer Grover, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
You know, we've covered a lot of ground. From his unique perspective on failure to his strategic genius and his ability to build relationships. But if I had to pick one thing, it's that success isn't a destination.
It's a journey.
Exactly. It's about constantly learning, adapting, growing. It's about embracing the unknown, taking risks.
And never stop learning, right?
Never. And I think Grover's story embodies that perfectly.
It's a reminder that even in a crazy world like the startup scene, some things never change. Hard work, resilience, and a desire to make a difference. And who knows, maybe listening to this will inspire someone out there to take the leap.
Chase their own dreams.
Exactly, because that's what it's all about, right? Finding your passion and going for it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. What have you always dreamed of doing but were too scared to try? Maybe it's time to dust off that dream and see where the journey takes you. Until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.